Finally, Makita have released this impact wrench. Wait a minute, Tools, wasn't the first 40 volt Makita impact wrench a high torque? Well, yeah, it was, but it was the 3/4 inch, and this is finally the 1/2 inch. This is the TW002G. It's a 1/2 inch high torque impact wrench. The TW003G is also a 1/2 inch. That has the detent pin. This one has the friction ring. And this is the impact wrench I've been waiting so long for them to release. I'll give you a quick rundown on the ones they have released. So they've released 10 numbers so far, from TW001G up to TW010G. The 10G I just recently reviewed. I'll put that review up in the top corner and down in the description. That was that big bugger, the 1 inch with the long anvil. The stubby nosed one is the 09, which still isn't out here yet, but should be out in the next few months. The 01 was that high torque 3/4 inch with 2050 Newton meters. This is the 02 high torque with a friction ring 1/2 inch with 2200 nut busting torque. More than the 3/4 inch. And 1700 Newton meters of max tightening torque. The 03 with the detent pin is only 1600 nut busting torque and 1360 tightening torque. The 04 was the second one released, I think. Can't quite remember whether the low torque or the high torque came out first. I think the low torques came out first, if I do recall. So the 04 and the 05 came out after the 01. I know this is confusing. And they were low torque, 630 nut busting and 350 max tightening. Then we have the 06, which doesn't seem to exist yet, and I don't know what it would be because it sort of doesn't really fit. We've got the 2 low torques at 4 and 5, we've got the 2 mid torques at 7 and 8, so I don't know what 6 would have been, and the only reference I can find to 6 is about 3 or 4 Russian websites, which I'm not even going to bother clicking on. So the 07 and the 08 are the mid torques with 1100 Newton meters of nut busting torque and 650 of tightening. And then the 9 is the stubby 1 inch and the 10 is the long anvil 1 inch. And that puts out 4000 nut busting torque and 3150 tightening torque. Those are Newton meter numbers, of course. I'm not putting up all the US measurements for this because I don't have time. I've got to go catch a plane. I've got to get this video done. So with that being said, I'm not going to test every single function of this tool. I'll tell you all about them quickly, but we'll just test one little thing that I want to try out. So 4 speed, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, nice and easy. The numbers are impacts per minute, 1700, 1800, 2000, 2400, and speed 850, 900, 1000, and 1800. It's pretty quick. And look at that little bit just there, made in Japan. Maybe that's why this took so long. This is a powerful, now the most powerful, apart from the 2 big ones, the 1 inch ones, you know, a very, very powerful, yet quite heavy, impact wrench. Anyway, we've got the 4 speeds. It's got variable speed trigger. But like the other ones, you can turn off the variable speed trigger by holding the mode button for a moment. Blue light comes on there. Now you'll get very little in the variable speed range. So it's sort of still a little bit variable, but ramps right up to the high speed much quicker. Then as well as that, you have these other modes. So push the button once, you get 3 more modes there. Okay, cycles through those, and they are for removing nuts and putting on nuts and getting the tool to stop for you. So as soon as it starts tapping, it'll stop, and when you remove it, it feels the release of the pressure on the nut or the bolt, it will stop impacting. And some of them will slowly take the nut off, some of them will stop immediately. I'm not going to go through all of it. It's basically the same on all the Makita impact wrenches that you've probably already seen me review. I have reviewed the 01, the 4 and 5 and 7 and 8 and 10, but it may come as a shock to you that I actually don't own any Makita 40 volt impact wrenches. Why is that? Well, because I've been waiting for this one. I've got other impact wrenches from other brands and stuff, but I've been waiting for this. I just wanted one impact wrench that I know would do everything I need, and I wanted it in 1/2 inch. Didn't want to have to go and buy 3/4 inch sockets. I only need 1/2 inch sockets for the stuff I do, and I don't want big bulky stuff and big heavy stuff I don't need. And the thing I'll mostly use this for is putting in big concrete anchors and screws and stuff, and tightening up nuts on construction projects. I'm not going to use it on mechanical car type stuff, automotive stuff, apart from maybe taking wheel nuts off every now and again, which is something I would normally show in the video, but I know this is going to take the wheel nuts off my car, so there's not much point in showing it really. But there is one thing I want to try with this, comparing it to impact drivers, because I drive a lot of these big wood screws, landscaping screws, and some of them, as you can see, they're massive, and with an impact driver it can be a bit of a strain on the poor old impact driver and take forever to drive them in. And yeah, your poor old impact driver doesn't like doing too many of those in a row before it wants to overheat or shit itself or drain the battery too fast. So I think I'll put this up against a 40 volt impact driver driving one of those and see how it goes. Because even though I don't have a bunch of Makita impact wrenches, I do have a bunch of Makita impact drivers, as you can see. And I did just find, oh look, a Makita impact wrench. It's only the 12 volt CXT though. It is 1/2 inch though with a friction ring, but yeah, not going to be quite as powerful as that. Maybe I should put those two up against each other. Let's do that, eh? That'll be a bit of fun. And let me know what you think about this. I don't think I've ever seen this before on any other Makita impact wrench. Maybe I have and I've just forgotten. But see this sort of angled area where the end of the anvil here, it's got that angle. Whereas this one, for instance, is just sort of square. And this has this sort of scalloped out bit. I don't know if this is to, you know, make this a little bit more powerful, because another thing that may make it a bit more powerful is the fact that, if you have a look, it doesn't have a hole for it. So most impact wrenches with a ring on the end, the old friction ring, they also have a hole like this one on the CXT model. And that's so you can lock on impact wrenches, put it somewhere so people can see, bro. So see there's a pin through that one with a like an O-ring that you just slip around the outside, put the pin through the hole, and that way if you're doing a lot of the same task over and over again quickly and stuff, there's no risk of the socket being left behind on one of the nuts, which is damn annoying when you're doing the same thing over and over again and the socket keeps getting left behind. You've got to keep pulling it off and jamming it back on here. So kind of surprised that a high torque impact wrench hasn't got that. Let me know what you think about that down below. I mean, I don't use impact wrenches a huge amount, like I said, but every now and again that is very handy, and I imagine if I was using it all the time I would want that for sure. It's not something that'll stop me from buying this particular tool, but what do you reckon? Let me know down there. Let's just start by seeing if this little CXT, which is super light, can get these screws out of here. I'm not sure how long they are. I think they're probably 5 inch. No bother at all. Let's now try that with the big boy. 3, 2, 1. Put it in the right mode might help. So that was in a nut release mode. Let's put it back to standard modes. Geez, this wants to pop out. Too easy. I'll remove these next couple with the TD002G versus the TW002G. Nice and easy, pretty quiet, too many impacts. Let's see how many impacts we've got to do with this sucker. 3, 2, 1. Much more in the way of impacts. Right, now that we've warmed them up, let's do the big screws. So each one of these is 45 millimeters thick, or about 1 3/4 inches. And there's 7 of them stacked here, and look, this screw's gonna go into all 7. Let's try it first with the TD002G impact driver. Okay, I'm gonna have to get this camera back and stand on a ladder for this one, just so we can get everything in shot. Right, let's go. I've got the TD002G on what I call jet assist mode, so it'll start off slow and then ramp up. Let's go. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, stalled already. It's probably gone through into the 3rd board. I'll stick it just on plain mode 4 See what happens. We're not getting anywhere. That's 220 Newton meters. Ain't working. I might just try this with a little 12 volt impact wrench, see what happens. Now you need to bear in mind this is dry timber, pressure treated, H3.2 radiata pine. But yeah, very dry. I know where there's any knots in these things, so I'm not hitting a knot. But let's see what the little CXT can do. As I would have thought, nothing. Let's trade the 220 Newton meters of max fastening torque of the TD002G for the 1700 of the TW002G. In 3, 2, I'll start off slow just so I don't pop out. No bother at all, and it was carrying on going down too. So, as you could hear, much slower on the impacts than the impact driver. Doesn't need to hit them as fast because it's got a lot more mass in the front here that does the work for you, whereas with an impact driver it's a bit smaller, so it has to have more impacts to do the work for you. But that went in very smoothly. Quite a lot of vibration though in it compared to using the impact driver. You could see everything just blah 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 blah. That's why this moves independently of the tool. If I lay that like that, you can see this wiggles in every direction, quite a lot, just to help protect the battery connections, because batteries don't like getting the shit shaken out of them, especially where they connect to the tool, so that helps with that. But yeah, that was pretty beastly. I don't know how to compare it with the impact driver anymore, since the impact driver failed so quickly. Let's try another Makita impact driver. Let's now try the original, the TD001G, in its top speed. 3, 2, 1. Exactly the same problem as it should be. Very similar tool, very similar top Newton meter torque specs. What about the 173? Oh, this is just so nice in the hand, sounds nice, just feels good. If you haven't tried a DTD173 or a TD173D, the Japanese version, do yourself a favor, because it's just so comfortable, nice to use. But this is the first screw it's ever done, this particular one, so might be a bit much for it. I hope I don't hurt the poor thing on its first outing. Anyway, top speed, 3, 2, 1. Exactly the same issue. Didn't quite get down as far as the 40 volt versions. Okay, let's grab the TW again. I just pushed up here where the light is to change the speed, like on the impact drivers that have the little button there. But anywho, let's now try this. Hopefully that's not too close to that one. I've got this on the lowest speed now. So that's going down okay, but a bit slow. Let's ramp it up to speed 2. Much slower impacts than an impact driver. Speed 3. Yeah, speed 3, not a bad speed for this particular job. Oh, sorry, I was actually on speed 4. Could have sworn it was on speed 3. This is speed 3. Yeah, speed 4. Of course the impact is so much slower. I think that'll do everything I need it to do. Sorry this review hasn't been too in-depth, but I've really got to get out of here. So thanks for watching. If you want to see more Makita 40 volt impact wrenches, take a look at these videos down in the description and up in the top corner. I'll put them up there and at the end of the video. And I'll see you all on another one soon. Cheers guys, gotta go. Maybe I will do a more full-on review and overview of all the impact wrenches now that they're sort of all there. Once the 09 comes out, maybe we'll do one big mega impact wrench for you. But until then, see you later.